Everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, our absolute focus is to empower you, the everyday citizen, to navigate state capital websites like a total pro. We're going to be using the state of Hawaii as our practical case study today, but the core principles of civic engagement we uncover, they apply no matter where you live. So let's get right to it and see exactly how you can take charge of the laws being made right in your own backyard.
Okay, let's dive right into this. We're breaking down the citizen's journey into 4 clear steps. First, discovering your local legislator, then tracking the issues, decoding the legislative process, and finally, making your voice heard.
Starting off with Phase 1, Discover, finding your local legislator.
It's actually beautifully easy on the Hawaii Capitol website. You just open the Legislator drop-down menu on the homepage, scroll down, and hit Find Your Legislator. This pops open a fantastic interactive map. Let's say you live in Mililani. You simply punch in your home zip code, 96789. Instantly, the map draws out the specific Senate and House district lines for that area. Click on your district, and boom, you've got your legislator's direct contact information. Literally takes seconds.
Moving right along to Phase 2, Track, finding the issues.
Now, you might be wondering how to find what you actually care about. Well, the site features the super useful Reports and Lists function where you can search for measures by what's called an introducer package. Like, if you care deeply about crime, you can pull up legislative priorities strictly under the Honolulu Police Department package. Interested in policies for kids? Check out the Ki'iki Caucus package. For aging and retirement, you'd look at the Kupuna Caucus. You can even check out the House Minority Caucus package to see exactly what Republican priorities are being introduced in the upcoming session. And hey, quick tip, the site defaults to the most recent session, but you can actually look all the way back to 2013 to track the history of these issues.
And this brilliantly illustrates a tiny but absolutely vital detail you've got to remember when using the site's subject search. Let's take an actively debated topic, like short-term rentals. If you search for short-term rentals with a hyphen, you get 6 specific records. But if you type short-term rentals with no hyphen, 0 records found. Seriously, the subject search feature is incredibly unforgiving. It requires exact character matches. So if you're looking up a topic and getting nothing, definitely play around with the formatting before you throw in the towel.
Once a bill is introduced, it goes through what's called committee referral. This is the process where bills are assigned to specific legislative committees based entirely on their subject matter. Think of it like this. Imagine you're a small business owner running a local boat tour company. If a new bill drops that could heavily regulate your business, it's highly likely that bill would be referred to the Water and Land Committee or maybe the Tourism Committee. Tracking those specific committees helps you stay completely ahead of the curve.
All right, Phase 3, Decode. Let's make sense of the legislative process. You're going to see the word biennium a lot. It basically refers to a 2-year legislative session where measures introduced in the first year can carry over into the second year. So a bill introduced in 2023 was still very much alive in 2024. However, the start of a brand new biennium, like 2025 for instance, means the slate is wiped completely clean. You're starting fresh with all new measures. When you're trying to hunt down a specific bill within these bienniums, you might find yourself staring at a massive, overwhelming list of all House or Senate bills. To save yourself a major headache, just use these keyboard shortcuts, Ctrl+F on a PC or Command+F on a Mac. Just type in your keyword and let your browser instantly snap you right to the exact bill you need. Real game changer.
Now, what's really interesting here is the sheer amount of power the Measure Status page hands over to you once you click on a bill. Say we used our search trick to find Senate Bill 3335 regarding cannabis legalization. Clicking into its status page literally gives you everything. You get a brief description summarizing the bill's intent. You can track the latest drafts, which are marked as House draft or Senate draft when the language changes. And best of all, the voting records. You could look up your specific representative, like Rep. Ward for example, see exactly if they supported or opposed the measure. No hiding.
As a bill travels through this whole maze, it generates what's called a committee report. Guys, this document is vital. It summarizes the discussion, the public testimony given, and any amendments made during each phase of the bill's progress. Let me emphasize this. You absolutely must read the committee report. You'll usually find it linked way down at the bottom of the page. It's crucial because sometimes, actually a lot of times, the amendments made during a hearing can completely alter the original intent of the bill.
Okay, let's pause for a second. We've tracked the bills, we've decoded the jargon, and we know exactly how our reps are voting. But let me ask you this. How can you actually affect a bill's fate? How do you step into the ring?
Which brings us to Phase 4, Act, making your voice heard.
Jumping in is highly accessible, and there are so many ways to do it. You can absolutely testify in person at the state capitol. But what if you can't make the drive? No problem. You can testify remotely via Zoom, and honestly, this carries the exact same weight as being there in the room. You can also just submit written testimony, as long as you do it up to 24 hours before the scheduled hearing. The flexibility is wild. You can literally pull up the YouTube channel and watch live hearings from anywhere. You could be on a break at work, chilling at home, or even sitting at the beach working on your tan, all while actively participating in your local government.
Actually, submitting your testimony is totally unintimidating. Let's walk through it real quick. Step 1. Register and log in at capitol.hawaii.gov. Step 2. Under the Participate dropdown, select Hearing Notification. Step 3. Choose Submit Testimony, and just type in the bill number you want to weigh in on. Step 4. Pick your stance. Do you support, oppose, or just want to leave a comment? Type it out or attach your document and hit Submit. That is literally the whole shebang.
One quick warning, though. A very specific technical requirement you've got to know if you're going the virtual route. Actually, this is a real deal breaker if you miss it. If you're testifying remotely, your Zoom display name must exactly match the full name you entered when you registered on the site. You definitely do not want your testimony disqualified just because your iPad's default name didn't match your actual name. Double-check that before you log in.
So the absolutely crucial point here is this. Once you hit Submit, you cannot edit your testimony. Be 100% sure you're happy with what you wrote, because it instantly becomes a permanent matter of public record. Anyone can view it at any time. Review it carefully, read it twice, and then hit that Submit button with total confidence.
Let's wrap up with this incredibly powerful thought. The Hawaii state motto: "The life of the land is perpetuated in righteousness." Whether you live in Hawaii or anywhere else, the most important thing is that you actually show up for your community. Navigating your state capitol website, tracking those bills, and providing your testimony, that is how you live out that motto. It's how you ensure the government truly works for you. The tools are literally right at your fingertips, so I have to ask, what issue are you going to bring to the Capitol first? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.